Hello and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I'm going to take a little bit of a risk today and have a look at a brand new puzzle by the constructor Knickolas. And I've done Knickolas's puzzles before on the channel. They have always, without exception, been just incredibly clever and difficult. This has had remarkably few solves. But anyway, I'm going to have a go. And we will see how I get on. If I don't manage to do it, I've left myself, I think, with enough time that I'll be able to try another puzzle and hopefully still meet the 8:30 p.m. deadline, which, I mean, it's getting longer and longer since Mark and I have missed a video, because we started at the start of the first COVID lockdown. When was that? Was that No, it wasn't 5 years ago. It was quite some number of years ago that we've done 2 videos a day for quite some number of years. Anyway, I'm not intending to break that streak today. And the puzzle is called A Degree in Thermology. It has very short rules and a surprisingly furniture-filled grid. There is a lot of grid furniture here for a puzzle no one's been able to do. Anyway, I'll read the rules in a moment or two's time. What do I need to tell you about before we kick off? I'm going to start by referring back to the puzzle that I did a couple of days ago, which I failed to realise. Let me show you. It's this one. It's Boogie and then Woogie was reversed, and I didn't realise that, by Bridget. There's just something I'd like to share with you about this puzzle. It's Fog of War, obviously. Lots of you have had a go at it, but apparently it was... the title refers to this, and I don't want to say too much, but for those of you who've tried it, this might make sense. Victory Boogie Woogie by Mondrian, and for those of you who haven't tried it, try it, and then maybe all will be revealed. But I thought it was worth. There is another Easter egg in that puzzle as well, which I won't reveal. Bridget, there's more to that puzzle than meets the eye, and it was a wonderful puzzle anyway, so I thought I'd just share that with you. Now, what else? We're streaming tomorrow night at 10 p.m. UK time, by which time I hope I will have recorded a video with Maddy, who won our Patreon competition for last month. Maddy and I are going to try and record a solve together tomorrow afternoon UK time, so I hope that goes well. And if you want a chance to try and make a video with me that hopefully will appear on the channel, that is the prize as well for December's monthly reward over on Patreon, which is the Cracking the Cryptic dating agency themed escapade. So yeah, look out for that. We've had hundreds and hundreds of correct solutions so far. Now, one thing I need to do before we do any solving today is to have a look at this enormous list of announcements and birthdays. I will start off with Victoria. Victoria, you have turned 38 today, and I know this because your partner Daniel wrote to us. And apparently, Victoria, you got Daniel into Sudoku via osmosis. I guess that's listening and watching you solve. And you love the Rat Run puzzles. Well, I know there is a new Rat Run puzzle, Marty Sears, of course. Incredible series involving the rat Finks. So keep an eye on the channel. I've no doubt I will attempt that puzzle soon. And happy birthday for today, obviously. Next, Javier. Your wife, Erica, wrote to us. You're over in Philadelphia, where I spent some time in the summer. And you like to watch the videos and drink wine together. How civilized. That avoids the temptation to do any wine clicks as well if you're just watching. And you're planning on having tiramisu today, which is you describe as chocolate cake adjacent. That word adjacent, it's become a very popular modern word, hasn't it? Everything is something adjacent. Anyway, Javier, many happy returns. I hope you have a great birthday today. Next, We'll move slightly, not far. I happen to know how far it is to drive from Philadelphia to New York. But we are now in New York because it is Anthony's birthday today. And I know this because your best friend Damon wrote to us and told us that you've turned a secret age. I couldn't possibly reveal what that is. Oh, yeah, no, this was right. And you're bridge partners. And you've just got back from playing in the Nationals at Las Vegas. That is fantastic. And I'm not sure, Anthony, you like chocolate cake, but I think Damon is planning on having chocolate cake in your honour. Gosh, that brings back memories. I did used to play a lot of bridge as a schoolboy, and I I was okay at it, I think. Yeah, but I certainly never got the chance to go to Las Vegas to play bridge. I think, where was the best I did? Manchester or somewhere like that. Somewhere slightly less glamorous. Anyway, Anthony, happy birthday. Next, Byron, it's your birthday today. And I know that your whole family seems to watch the channel. That is absolutely terrific. So this message is from your wife, Jen, and your 5 children, Isabella, Cara, Alyssa, Hannah, and David. Who, yeah, I mean, isn't it brilliant how families get involved in these puzzles? I really like that. Byron, happy birthday. I hope you get some chocolate cake today. Next, Rick. You're over there in the Netherlands, and your partner, Zoe Amber, said that you might be our biggest fan over in the Netherlands. Well, thank you for that. You're currently packing for a trip to Cape Verde. Well, I guess that will be brilliant. So, Rick, many, many happy returns. And then last but not least, Karen. Now, Karen, I know you've turned 58 today. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. But I know this from many, many different sources. So your sister Amy wrote to us, your mum wrote to us, and Skojo wrote to us as well. In fact, Skojo wrote the most incredibly kind email. And Karen, I know you're over there in Boston, and you're on the mend following illness. So I hope things are going well. I hope you have a brilliant birthday today. Many, many happy returns. And you construct, I think, under the name Cabaret. So some people may know, I know Karen. Yeah, so Karen, happy birthday. And Skojo, thank you for your email, which, amongst other things, referred to the fact that we do have over 600,000 subscribers. And Skojo said we should remember those are all real people, that we've made a small difference to their lives. I mean, a very tiny difference perhaps on certain days, but I guess that is true. So Skojo, thank you for being kind enough to remind us of that fact. And anyway, that's all the news. I may have to read all those messages out again if I can't do this puzzle. Let's hope I will be able to. I will have a positive mental attitude. And the puzzle is called A Degree in Thermology by Knickolas, and these are the rules. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So we have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. 9 cells, 1 in each row, column, and 3x3 box, are doublers and have a value of double their digit. So if that's a doubler and it was an 8, it would have a value of 16. There's a knowledge bomb. Each digit appears in exactly 1 doubler. So that's fairly normal doublers rules. Values along a thermometer increase from the bulb end. Okay, so that's going to be made complicated if we get doublers on thermometers. But anyway, I mean, let's ignore doublers for the moment. The simple principle is that you sort of have to keep increasing. Just as mercury would rise as the temperature rises, so must Sudoku digits rise as we move along Sudoku thermometers. Maverick's going to fly past. It must be freezing in the little planes that Maverick buzzes past my window in. Today it's very cold. Anyway, so we've explained that. Values in a cage sum to the given total. Okay, so I'm not going to get an easy win there. Yeah, okay, so normally this would be 6, 8, 9 because it's a 23 cage. But if it's got a doubler in it, it could, it could even have a double 9 in it. That's rather distressing, isn't it? Okay, so that... Though the values in the cage add up to 23, the values in that cage adds up to 24, etc. And then one more rule: digits may not repeat in a cage, but values may. Right. Well, actually, yeah, we can see it's impossible for digits to repeat in any of these cages, but given values may repeat, yeah, that could get very interesting indeed. Anyway, do have a go. I think this might be quite difficult. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Sorry, my eyes are being drawn to the 24 cage, which I can't assume is 789 because it might have a doubler. It can only have one doubler in it, can't it? Because there's only one doubler in each box. And there's an awful lot. There's this... Oh, no, it's not quite. I was going to say there's a pattern of thermometers here that's repeating. Oh, I've had an idea, actually. I might think about that in a second. But because I can see we've got this sort of arrangement. That's my new dark blue colour. Oh, I hope I get a 3 in the corner today because of Sven's new snow. Oh, gosh, and I was looking... Sorry, I'm digressing. But I was looking at some of the comments yesterday of the Christmas songs that you were suggesting, because let me explain. If you didn't watch yesterday's video, if you put 3 in the corner now, you get snow. Sven has made it so you get snow. So I was trying to think of a song that isn't That's 3 in the Corner, because that's not very Christmassy. Oh, Christmas 3, oh, Christmas 3. It was very good. That's very good. But there were other suggestions as well. So I don't quite know what we're going to do if we do get a 3 in the corner. But anyway, let's go back to solving. I can see that this pattern, that sort of strange pattern there, that's appearing there as well. It's exactly the same pattern. It's just rotated. Same is true here. Same is true here. But I hadn't noticed that there was this one as well, which is sort of breaking the symmetry. Oh. Well, actually, okay. If that was 789, which is the only way you can make normal digits without doublers add to 24, this is getting very interesting, isn't it? Because we have to increase along the thermometer. So, in fact, right. So the doubler in box 3 is either in the cage or there. Because if there is no doubler in the cage, then this digit, well, these will be 7, 8 and 9, and this cannot be 7, 8 and 9 therefore. So even if you put 7 there, we can't go to 8 or 9 because they aren't available. So this would have to be a doubler. So the doubler is either in here or there. So I'm going to use red for doublers. That's my established doubler pattern. So now we've worked out that the doubler is not in these bulbs. Do we care about that? Probably not. I mean, Oh no, that's horrific actually. Oh, I had my other idea, didn't I? Sorry, let me just explain what I was thinking is horrific. Let's use this one because there's a bit less shading and grid furniture to worry about. So I was thinking about where that digit goes in this box, because in normal thermometer world, you can't, let's say this was a 2, you can't repeat the 2 on its own thermometer. This is really powerful. I mean, in that situation, because you can see that this digit, because these digits have to all be greater than 2, and 2 can't go in its own row, there would be a 2 in one of these squares, and actually we could immediately then just write it in there. But that is not how it works, quite, at least in this puzzle, because if 2 was on a thermometer, or 2 could be on its own thermometer if it was doubled. Yeah, so there's actually no restriction. So 2, if that digit is doubled, but wait a minute, you can't. No, there's some issue here, isn't there? I can fix this one. But then how do I fix that one? Because I can only put one doubler in the box, is what I'm thinking. Hang on. So if this bulb is higher than this bulb, that digit can go on the other one's bulb, whether or not it's a doubler. That one, Yeah, I see. Right. So yeah, you can't look at the... Yeah, right. And that makes sense with the pattern. You can't look at the bulbs in isolation. You have to look at the whole pattern. So let's look at the whole pattern here. This whole sort of ring shape, this rugby ball shape, or American football if you prefer. Because... In fact, let's just use an example here. I'm going to use letters. Let's make that A and that B. And let's say, just for the sake of exposition, let's say that A is greater than B. Because one of these are not the same number, they're in the same Sudoku row. So we can, without loss of generality, say that one of these digits is higher than the other. I'm going to say that A is higher. Now, if A is higher, it can certainly go on B's thermo. It could go on its own thermo if it's doubled. But the question I want to ask is about B. Because B is lower than A, and therefore B... It can't go in its own row. It could go on its own thermo, but only if it doubles itself. And it could go on A's thermo only if it doubles itself there. Because it is, in terms of its pure value, its undoubled value, we are saying it is lower than A. So it can't go on this thermo unless it is doubled. And that means that... That means that in each of the rugby balls... Oh, no. It means on each of the rugby balls, one of the whichever is the lowest of the two digits is doubled in the box it's next to. So in this box, this box, this box, and this box, in those boxes, the double... Well... okay, so the double digit, let's actually just focus on that. Because the double digit will be one of the bulbs, whichever is the lower bulb, the double digit is always on thermometers. So that's going to... No, it's not. Actually, it's not. Sorry, I was suddenly hoping it was going to tell me something about this box. But it doesn't, does it? Right. And it's always the lower of the bulbs that's... I was actually... Okay, I'm just going to say this now, but I'm not going to use it yet, unless I get stuck. But I was wondering at the start of the puzzle whether it was about set. Because I could see that, you know, there's this sort of pattern going on. Those digits there, that's 4 sets of the digits 1 to 9, versus these boxes perhaps. Let's just have a quick look at that. No, so what I'm looking at is the fact that the yellow digits are the same as the blue digits, because I've highlighted 4 different boxes of the Sudoku, which is 4 sets of the digits 1 to 9 in some order, and 4 different columns of the Sudoku, which is 4 sets of the digits 1 to 9 in some order. If I take the overlaps out, although these digits, these middle digits were in the blue set twice, so now I've taken them out once, so I have to restore them. And I'm going to get that pattern, but I don't really know how that impacts on the doublers either. I mean, what we can say is the blue digits and the yellow digits are the same set of digits without recourse to doublers at all. No, I don't like that. Sorry, that might have been a complete red herring. I can't see what that's doing. So that's probably a bad thought. So let's go back to the first thought. So the first thought, or I don't know whether it was the first thought, but the other thought was that the bulbs have to take whatever digit is in the lower of these two bulbs. And the thing is, it can go on its own thermo. So we can't even... So even if we knew which of these was lower, we don't know which thermo it goes on. So... Right, but that does mean that it means the lower bulb, it can't be that big. It can't be. If the lower bulb was... the lower bulb was 5, does that work? So if this is the lower bulb, that's 5, that's 6. I'm just thinking we've got to put an awful lot of high digits now. And the digits we've got available... That's not enough, is there? Because I've got... On the 6 thermo, I can put 7, 8, 9 on it, or the doubler. And on the 5 thermo, I could put the 6. Yeah, this doesn't work. This doesn't work because there are 6 digits that are higher than 5. And although, yeah, that's the way to think about it, higher than the lower of these numbers. The lower of these numbers is 5. So I can put 6 on the 5 thermo. So it's not the 6 we should focus on, it's the lowest digit. And what we can say is that we've got to have 6 digits higher than the lower number, which is 5. And the natural digits available are 6, 7, 8 and 9. And this one can be doubled, which would be worth 10. So that's a 5th digit, or a 5th cell we could fill. But the 6th cell is impossible. Now, yeah, so if I reduce that by 1, does that free up the extra degree of freedom? Because now I could put 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and a doubled 4, which would be 8. And the natural 8 is in the box, and there's a doubled 4 in the box. So there's 2 values of 8 in the box, but they aren't the same digit, so that's okay. Right, so what we're learning from that, and it doesn't make a difference, does it? Providing that the 4 is lower, if I make that 5, how does that work? Then, yeah, again, all that means is that we know the 4 has to be doubled to appear in this box at all. The 5 has to be on a thermo which can't be its own, so it would go there on the 4's thermo. The 4 doubled is worth 8, which could go on either thermo, but there are the digits 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So whatever this is, doesn't make a difference, does it? This doubled 4 could go on this thermo, so this doesn't have to be 7, 8, 9. It could be 7, 4, 9. So that's okay. All right, so what are we learning from that? What we're learning is that the lower of the 2 digits in the bulbs is no higher than 4, and there are 4 rugby balls. This is very clever, actually. This is very clever, because you can't repeat a doubler. So the double digits in boxes 2, 4, 6 and 8 are 1, 2, 3 and 4. And just to recapitulate that, let's just make sure we're absolutely happy with that. That is because I can't have The lower of the two digits cannot be as high as 5 or any higher than 5, because if it is, there aren't 6 higher digits than that lower digit that you could put on the thermo. So the maximum is 4. Once you've doubled the 4, you can't use doubled 4 as the low digit in any other rugby ball. So you could use double 3, double 2, double 1. Right. Right. Get that into your brain, Simon. So now what? So now I know one of these rugby balls in each case is a low digit that is being doubled in the box that's next to it. So all the other doublers in the puzzle are 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Ah. So that 8 can't have a doubler in it. Yeah, if this had a doubler in it, it would be at least a doubled 5. That's far too many. In fact, what we should do is this, shouldn't we? We should put those all as green. Double 5 is 10. You can't put 0 into a Sudoku, so that's also not got a doubler in it. Don't think it works the same way for double 12. Double 12, it could only be double 5, 2. But it probably could be that. That would, if there was a 2 here, it would put 2 on a thermo. So if there was a 2 there, one of these would be a 1. Oh, hang on, how does that work? What do you do with the 1 in the box if you do that? So, hang on. Ah, that's interesting. Right, if you put 1 in a bulb, well, yeah, and this is huge, because we do know there is a 1 in a bulb. That is right. I mean, in the sense that the doubler in boxes 2, 4, 6 and 8, one of them is a doubled 1. How do you do that? How do you put doubled 1 on a thermo? Its value is 2. So the only way of putting it on a thermo is if there's a 1 in the bulb of that thermo. So literally, one of these is going to be a 1, and then a doubled 1 immediately, which will have a value of 2. So there can't be any skipping of values there, because if you did 1 here and then doubled 1 here, you'd need a digit like 1.5 here. That won't work. So if this was 2, 5, you can't do that. You just can't do it, because you're going to put 2 on a thermo. That thermo bulb is going to be a 1. Let's just do it very slowly. So let's say that's a 2, and let's say we decide we've got to put 2 on this thermo. It must go there, because there are no digits. So there's 1 digit lower than 2, and it's 1. So I have to put 1 there. Now I've got to put 1 in this box. Where can it go? Well, it has to have the value of 2 and be doubled, and it can't go there, so it can't work. So this one is also green. It's getting harder, isn't it, to put the doublers in. Here. Well, maybe there. What happens then? You can't double a bulb, can you? In the rugby balls? I'm not sure about that. I don't think you can, but I'm not sure. Let's say this was a 4. And that was a natural 4. And it was lower then than a double digit that I put in this square, which we know can't be a doubled 1, 2, 3 or 4. So let's say that's a doubled 5. How does that work? That 5... Oh, golly, this is confusing me now. I know that in this box... Oh, hang on, that has a No, that's impossible. It's impossible because that I have to respect that for the purposes of the thermo. Even though I'm trying not to in my brain. My brain is completely going crazy. Right, no, obviously. Actually, it's totally obvious. It's just, it's hard for me because I'm trying... No, it's hard for me because my brain isn't working properly. But no, that does not work. Let me explain why. It's very simple. Because if we are doubling a bulb now, the only doubling digits we've got left are 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. The problem is the value of this is 10. So although I can put I was focusing on where the 5 could go in here, and I can put a 5 natural here. But the point is this thermo's absolutely broken in the sense that the minimum value of this is 10. So the minimum value of this is 11, which means it has to be a doubler. The minimum value of this is 12, which means it has to be a doubler. So we'd have to have 3 consecutive doublers in the box. So in fact, this is big. This is big. Let's go back then. Because now, the corollary of the 1, 2, 3 and 4 all being ruled out from being doubled anymore, anywhere other than in these boxes, is that all the bulbs of the rugby balls, some of which I seem to have already got as green, are all green. And now, in row 8, that digit is doubled. Oh, this is gorgeous. Right. And now if this digit is doubled, those digits, which, they are natural, and they add up to 24. So that's 7, 8 and 9. This is either 2, 6 or 3, 5. I really like this so far. Oh no. Hang on. I thought I got something. But no, I haven't. Oh, if that's a doubler, that's a doubler. Because if that's a doubler, where does the doubler go in column 2? It's got to go there. So doubler, 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 nori, nori. That might be possible. Don't know. I don't know. Okay. So do we know what this doubler is? No, but we do nearly know what it is. Because we know it's not doubled 1, 2, 3 and 4 because they appear in these boxes. It's not 7, 8 or 9 by Sudoku, it's 5 or 6. So there's a floating 5, 6 pair between those 3 digits. Because this 8 cage, which can't be 1, 7 because of this 24 cage snaffling the 7, is either 2, 6 or 3, 5. So there is a 5 or a 6 in here, and there is a 5 or a 6 in here. So these are from low digits, which is actually not surprising at all because 2 of them are on the rugby ball points. That's incredibly unhelpful, actually. That really is incredibly unhelpful. Yeah, because we just don't know anything about this, do we? I feel like that would be... it feels like that quite wants to be a doubler, doesn't it? Because if that's a doubler, I get a second doubler there. Oh, that's huge, actually. Another thing, if that's a doubler, not only do I get a second doubler there, I know that that's a 5 or a 6, so I'd have a 5-6 doubler pair. And the reason I'd know this, if this is a doubler, which it will be if this is a doubler, this digit can't be 7, 8 or 9, and it's not in these boxes here, so it's not 1, 2, 3 or 4, it's a 5 or a 6, it's the opposite of this. So it would go in the 8 cage. It would be on this thermo but not doubled. No, that's not true. Sorry, I was thinking it had some. No, it's not the same as this. In fact, it would be the opposite of this. This couldn't be, this natural 12 cage couldn't be 5, 7 then, because one of these is a 5. So this would be 4, 8 or 3, 9. Don't know how that works. I don't know. It feels like that's the direction we're going in. See, how do I know about that? If that's a doubler, on the other hand, because that's a massive doubler, isn't it? That's a 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 being doubled. So it's got a huge value, so this would have to be a doubler as well. And if that's a doubler, the 23 cage turns into a natural 23 cage. 6, 8, 9 across the middle of the grid. Does that... See, that feels less helpful to me, actually. Because those are very, very high digits, looking at not quite the tips of the thermos. If that's not a doubler, there's a doubler here. No, that's true. That's true. Oh dear, I don't know. What's then about... There's got to be one of 7, 8 and 9 in the 12 cage. It's a natural 12 cage. So it's either 5, 7, 4, 8 or 3, 9. Whatever it is, that natural digit goes in there by Sudoku, which is quite a high digit on the thermo. It's probably... And there would be one low digit here, which is from 3, 4 or 5. Okay, so hang on, how does this work? So we must have... No, that's not strictly true. Well, okay, it's sort of true. One in the rugby balls is always in one of those squares. One of these squares, one of these squares, one of these squares. There's always one. And the reason we know that is think about where one goes in the middle of the rugby ball. It can't... The only way one goes on a thermo is if it's in the second position on the thermo, doubled, and there's a 1 behind it. So there will be... So if you don't put 1 in these squares, you put 1 on the thermo, but there's a 1 in one of those. So there's always a 1 here, there's always a 1 here, there's always a 1 here, there's always a 1 in one of those. And that does absolutely nothing. Okay, but can we pull that same trick with 2s, 3s, 4s, etc.? Maybe I can force this to be high. That would give me a 5, 6 pair. Does it work the same way for 2? If you put 2 on a thermo... Yeah. Yes, it does. It's exactly the same. If I don't put 2 in the middle of the rugby ball, so if 2 isn't the air in the rugby ball, 2 is on a thermo. Where can we put the 2 on the thermo? We know we can't put a natural 2 on the thermo, because to do so would make the bulb a natural 1. And natural 1s we know go with double 1s immediately, not 2s. So if you do put 2 on a thermo, you're making it a doubled 2. And therefore, if this was double 2, for example, its value is 4. We know we can't put, because this is doubled, and it is doubled, because you can't put 1. Oh, that's right. I feel like that's right. I'm just not articulating it very clearly. It's right, isn't it? If you put 2... Or is it? Do I have to put... No, I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong now. Okay, if I put... Hang on. Sorry about this. If I put 2... If I put 2 in one of these squares... what I am sure about is it's doubled. Because the only way it's undoubled is if there's a natural 1 behind it, which we know is impossible. So there's a double 2 here. Now then the question is, does that necessitate a 2 in one of the rugby ball tips? And I'm not sure now that it does. Because I've thought of this situation. If this was a 2, it's obviously doubled. Let's imagine it's double. I can't, like that, so it's doubled. So its value is 4. Ah, no, it is true. It is true for a different reason. I've got something. Yeah, okay. This is complicated. Okay, I've got something though. Again, I'm not taking my own advice. So right at the start, I realised that you had to treat the rugby ball as a rugby ball. You can't treat these thermos individually because you can make them work individually. You have to think about the other bulb. Yeah, because, yes, I could make, if I do put 2 on, I could double it. But the point is then, what am I doing with these bulbs? I have to make a decision about what the low value is. Now we now know that the low value on these 2 bulbs is not 1 anymore. And why is it not 1? It's not 1 because if it was 1, we know that 1 is what gets doubled in this box. So the low value here is 2. Now, given the low value here is 2, we know that it's always the low value from the 2 rugby balls that gets doubled on the interior. So I don't know which, so if I do make this 2 doubled, I don't know which of these is 2, because that could still be a 3 in theory. If it's a 3, the thermo is increasing, it's going 3, 4. But I do know that this is 2. Because I still have to put a natural 3 somewhere in this box. And the only place you could put a natural 3 is here. Can't go on here anymore. So it needs a lower digit in one of these in order to accommodate it. So that's quite interesting, because now I have convinced myself that not only do these stripes of 5 contain 1s, they also contain 2s. Which takes 2 out of that square, which takes 6 out of that square. Now, does that work with 3s? I've got a horrible feeling it's not going to, because the logic with 1s isn't going to work now. Is it necessary that you must have a 3 in those positions in this row? So let's think about that. If I had 1 here and 3 here, we know that would be doubled 1. So this value is 2. The 3 could go here without being doubled. Yeah, but that's a 3. So that's So I'm proving myself. So what about if I make that a 4? Do I now have to have 3 in one of these squares? This could be 4. No, I don't. I definitely don't. I've got loads of degrees of freedom, haven't I? Oh, no, I do. The 1 is doubled. The 4 is fine on that thermo. Yeah. Okay, sorry, that didn't work. Oh, hang on. No, hang on. I need to not put 3 here. No, that's still fine then. I can do that. It's close. It's close to requiring a 3 in here. Really very close, but it isn't essential. 1, 2, natural 3, natural 4. Yeah, and you can see from this one we do have to put 2 in the sequence. Right, okay. So is that a genuine, or is that, no, I think that was a genuine 1, 2, 3 or 4, wasn't it? So all I've worked out is that these sequences have to contain 1s and 2s in all cases, but that's all. And that does nothing to the 12. And there's no other sort of alignment with another box. So, hang on. What digits? Oh, yeah, of course. Oh dear. Right. Where does that digit go in this box? Well, or in that row is a better question. But I've just realised that can't be 7, 8 or 9, can it? If that was massive, if it was 7, what are we putting on the value? Ah, no, hang on. Could you do it? If that's 4... Oh, this is so good. I don't... Oh, this is... this is... No, if that's 7, I've got to... No, that's fine. Natural 7 can go up here. Oh, goodness me, this is confusing me. If that... Because if that can't be high... then it goes on its own thermometer. So it would be the double digit. I'm not actually sure that would do anything, to be honest. Okay, let's keep thinking about this. So if that is a high digit, it's obviously putting a lot of pressure on this. In the sense that, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't. It only just... But it doesn't, does it? Okay, because the problem here is really this square. In an ordinary situation, without this 7, 8, 9 triple, we probably could make this work, but I don't think I can make it work here. If this is 7, I've got to have 3 digits that are higher, or 3 values that are higher than 7 here, not including anything natural at all. So I can't use 8 and 9 down here. Yeah, so I don't think this logic about 7 is going to propagate. I don't think I can sort of go round the grid and fill in all of these rugby ball tips with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, for example. But I think here it is legitimate to say this definitely can't be 7. Because these can't be from 8 and 9. I could put 1 higher digit on by putting a doubled 4 here. But I can't put 2 more as well. So that is not 7, and therefore it is a valid question. Where does that digit go in row 9? And the answer is, I don't know. But I do know it's got to... The only place it can go is in one of those squares, because it's not 7, 8 or 9. And if it goes on its own thermo, it's doubled. So that digit is in one of these squares, doubled. And that's why I've made this 1, 2, 3 or 4, because we know that the double digit is a 1, 2, 3, 4 in this box. And now, because there's a doubler here, there is no doubler there. So there's a doubler in one of these squares. Goodness me, this is fascinating actually. It's fascinating. Right, no. Well, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure now. No, I'm not sure. So do I know what this is? I've got to decide which of these is lower, don't I? Because that would be a useful thing to know. Because if that's lower, and you've got a doubler on your own thermometer, if that's lower... Oh, this can't be a 1 now. Oh, it can't be a 1. I think that's all I can say. It can't be a 1 because 1 would require this to be a doubled 1, and that's wrong. So that's not 1. So the 1, there's a 1 in one of 2 places in box 9. And that's 2, 3 or 4, but I think this could be 2, because didn't we work out before that you could have a 2, and that didn't have to have a doubler on its own thermometer. So if this had doubled 2 on it, well no, then we'd have to decide... No, actually I don't think this can be 2 now. I might be wrong about this, but if I make this 2... Oh no, I think I am wrong. I'm so confused. What I'm also very keen to avoid is making a logical, saying something that's not logically valid. And I think actually it would be incredibly easy to make a logical mistake here. It's almost like a puzzle that's designed to fox you like that. So if that's 2, I can't put 2 on here, so I have to put 2 on here. But if I do that, where do I put the 2? And the only way of putting the 2 here would be if it's a double 2. Oh yeah, but that we've said that this one, this is the digit. Yeah, we've said this is the digit that is doubled in this box, not that one. So that can't be 2. Because if this is natural 2, this has to be a 1. If you put natural 2 on this, this has to be a 1, and that doesn't work. So this has moved up in value to be 3 or 4. I'm just trying to work out, because if I could deduce that this was the lower of the 2 values, and actually I know it's the lower, because it's repeat. Yeah, because it's the doubler. So this is the lower. Ah! Yeah, okay, so I've got to get this into my head. It's so... Right, because I know that the lower of the 2 always ends up as the doubler in the box, and I've worked out that by Sudoku, this is the doubler in the box. It is the lower of the 2 rugby balls, the 2 sort of ends of the rugby ball. Yeah, it would have been better if this had gone the other way. So this square cannot be 4. Now, if this is 3 and this is 4, that has to be 5, 7. That's 3 and that's 4. That would be 6. No, that doesn't work. This has got no fill, I don't think. So what I'm claiming here is if I make this... We know this is the lower. This cell is the lower of these 2 cells. So if this is 3 and this is 4, that has to be 5, 7. That's 6, and that has no value. So that is not 3. It's now 1 or 2. And we know that... So this is either 1, double 1, or 2. Two couldn't go with 4 here. That's interesting. Let me explain that. That's weird. If that's 2 and this is 4, we know that this thermo has double 2 on it, which is worth 4. So where do I put the 4, the actual 4, in this box? Nowhere. It can't go in its own row. It can't go on its own natural thermometer. And it can't go on there because that thermo already has a value of 4 on it, and you can't repeat a value. So that's very strange. So if this is 2, this is 3. If this is 1, that's double 1. Oh, so if this is 2, that's 3, and that 3 has to make an appearance in the box, and it would have to be a natural 3. So this thermo would go 2, 3, double 2. I don't know if that's possible or not. Oh, if that's 2, so if that's 2, that's 3. That would be 2, 6. So that would be 5. I can't quite see what that's doing. Is that putting pressure here? Ooh, I don't know. I think it might be possible for this to be 4/8 still, but I'm not sure. So I'm saying that if that's 2, that has to be 3. There's then a 5/6 pair in this row because this can't be 3 anymore. So this is a 5/6 pair. This is 4/8. And this is 1/7/9. And this thermo goes, in some way, it goes 2, 3, double 2, which is worth 4, isn't it? And then that would be 5 or 6. I wish I could see what's wrong with that. I think that's going to be right. 2 here, 3 here, 4/8. So 8 would be on this thermo as the highest digit. Wow, I don't know. This is very, very confusing. Oh, wait a moment. Wait a moment. Look at column 2. That square. Look, I've got a doubler here, so these all turn green. Now the only place for a doubler in column 2 is there. So that is not a doubler. That is a doubler. Right, and if that's a doubler, it's at least a double 5, so that's got to be a doubler. These are not doublers. Look at this. We're getting loads and loads of cells now that can't be doublers. These all can't be doublers. They're all in a box with... Oh, these can't be doublers. So these are 6, 8, and 9. This is a real 7, 8, 9 triple now. So this digit, which is... Oh, wait a second. Hang on a moment. Oh, look, right. When I saw the possibility of this being 6, 8, 9, and I was very underwhelmed by it. But I'm now very pleased about it, because what's that digit? That digit is a doubler. But it's not 1, 2, 3, or 4. We know very well where the 1, 2, 3, 4 doublers go. It's not 6, 8 or 9, so it's a doubled 5 or a doubled 7. But what's this digit? That's got to be a smaller actual number than this, but still capable of being a doubler. So this can't, if this is 5, this needs to be a doubled 1, 2, 3 or 4, which we know it can't be. So that's doubled 7. Oh, we don't know. That's doubled 5 or 6, and it's the friend of that one. So these two digits are a 5, 6 pair. Right, well that's still interesting, because this digit now sees that 5, 6 pair. These are not the same doubler. All the doublers are different. So that digit is low. So these rugby balls have got 2 low tips on them, or 2 low bulbs. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quintuple. This digit is big, 7, 8 or 9. Because, and the reason we know that is that, oh, it's not actually, hang on, no, it's not 7, I've just had 7. No, okay, so it's 8 or 9, because it has to be a doubler. I mean, we know it's not 1, 2, 3 or 4, because it's not in these boxes. It's not 7, because I've just found a 7. In fact, that's my first digit. It took me an hour. That's my first digit. And hang on, so in this row now, we've got a 7, 8, 9 triple, the 7 of which is in that domino, so that's not 7. I'm not sure about that. That's annoying, isn't it? That's... Can we use these two together somehow in some other way? Anyway, this is an 8 or a 9, and the other doubler I haven't found. Ah, so there's a doubled 8 or 9 in there, look. One of those, I don't know which one, I'm just going to make that pencil mark. One of these is an 8 or a 9, and it's the opposite of that one. So this square sees 8 and 9 in the 12 cage. It's not an 8 or a 9. So, what does that mean? I don't know. It means this digit is either... I don't know actually. I think it's got a lot of options. It's 3, 4, 5 or 7. And this digit is 7, 8, 9 or 5. So 5, 7 looks like what this wants to be. That would make this a 6. This a 3, this a 5, this a 4. I can't remember if that affects all of those shenanigans we were trying to do with the rugby ball tips down there. We've got a 10 cage now that doesn't have an 8 or a 9. That's not very helpful. What is that? We know that is green. We know this one is taking stuff out of here. So there's a doubler here, but we don't know what that is. We know it's a 1, 2, 3 or 4. We've got a doubler here, so these are not doublers. So we've got a doubler up there. Well, again, a 1, 2, 3 or 4. Reflecting the lower of the 2 rugby balls. We've got... No, we really don't seem to know quite as much about column 1 and column 3, do we? So what is it then? What am I meant to be figuring out here? I have no idea. If this is 1, that's double 1. That's a 2 then, isn't it? And that does what exactly? That means that 2 in this... Oh, 2 could go here. So if that's 1... Oh no, that's not a 2. It's not a real 2. It's a doubled 1. Oh, goodness. If that's 1, it's got a value of 2. But it's actually a 1. Oh, that almost looks likely, because I have got a 1 up here. Or is it this 7, 8, 9? What's that doing? So 7, 8, 9 here, there's one of those digits in one of those two. And only one of those digits. So there is exactly one of those digits on here. And this is all natural. Ah. Yes. So yeah. Let's say there was a 7 in here. Then there is a 7 on this thermo. But only one of 7, 8, and 9 is on this thermo. Because if 2 are on, there should be 2 here by Sudoku, and there aren't. There's only one high digit. So the 7, or the high digit, is always in the tip. It's always there. That's actually not doing anything at all. I'm sorry. Is it somehow Sudoku that we need to avail ourselves of? What's that digit? That digit is a maximum of 6. So 1. Ah, no, I think that's got loads of options actually. Oh, bobbins, I can't see how to do this. We said if that was 2, that was 3, didn't we? And then we said the 3, so we said this would go 2, 3, 2. 2, 3, 2. So there'd be a 2 up here. 2, 3. This wouldn't be 3, 9 anymore. So that wouldn't be a 9. And does that do anything? And the answer to that is I haven't got a clue. I feel like I should be able to see something here, but I can't. I just can't do it. This would be 2, 6, wouldn't it? Because if that's 3, that is 2, 6. So that would be 5. Oh, so I'm really running out of options. This becomes 8, 4. So that would be an 8, actually. Oh, golly, it's getting very clustered now. Oh, no, it's impossible. Oh, that's lovely. I see it. I can see it. Wow, I mean, it's super complicated, actually. It's super that's very difficult to see for me. I think there's a better way of seeing it, though. Wow. Okay, so here is what we have to do. We have to focus on the combination of this row and this row. And in particular, we've got to ask ourselves where some of the digits we're going to put in this row appear in this row. Now, how are we going to do this? So the first thing we have to say is that if this is a 2, there is a double 2. Well, firstly, this is a 3 for the reasons we discussed earlier, because we can't make this 4 and put 4 anywhere in the box. So if this is 2, I'm going to show you. I have seen this, so I do know it works. If this is 2, this is 3. So we have to put 3 here now, because it's the only place it can go in this box. That's a natural 3, and that's fine, because this can be a 2, which is doubled to take the value of 4. And this is the critical thing, because now this being 3 makes this a 2, 6 pair. And what does that do to this? It makes this 5 by Sudoku, looking at this 12 cage, which no longer contains 3, no longer contains 5, so it does contain 4 and 8. And where am I putting 4 in this row? And you might say, there. Well, I can't, because that has a value of 4, and it's next to another 4 on the thermo. So that is what I've seen as being impossible. I appreciate that's super complicated, but it's really quite pretty when you finally realise that it's the repeated values on that bottom thermo that break it. So this is 1. That's our second digit. This is 1, but doesn't have the value of 1. It has the value of 2. This is green. This is going to give me another doubler up there. which we know is a 2, 3 or a 4 now, because it's a doubler in one of these boxes that's not the double one, which we've now found. There are no more 1s in any rugby balls tips, because... oh, actually, that's going to give me a 1 here. Because we know that 1 will be the lower of the 2 rugby tips, and it will force a doubled one onto a thermo, which we've now found. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. Has that improved our knowledge of the world tremendously or not? That digit definitely goes in one of those 2 squares. In fact, that might not be true, what I was about to say, so I will refrain from saying it. Why, wait a moment then. It might be here that we have to look, but I'm just going to think about... I've just had a thought about that pair, but let me come back to this. I'm just not sure. I mean, I know that digit goes in one of those positions. I desperately... Well... I don't know. I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm being a bit slow about that, but I'm not sure I know where it goes. Let me come to this arrangement here, because I was just having a thought about that. In fact, what my thought was wrong anyway. It's so easy to make a mistake here. I was going to claim that neither of these could be a 2, but I'm not actually sure that's true now. 2, we know, forces... no, it's not true. It's not true. I might be able to get rid of... Well... Actually, that still does things. Right, forget my first idea. I'm going to play with my second idea. What about this square? I'm not going to try and claim neither of these as 2. But I might be able to prove this can't be a 2. Because if that's 2, we know it's the lower of these 2 thingies. And we know that there now must be a doubled 2 on this thermo. Now, which has the value of 4, obviously. Now, the fact that there's a 4 value on this thermo means this can't be a 4. We looked at this down here. So this has to be a 3, which can't go on its own thermo. So this 3 is going to go exactly as we looked at this right here. This is a 3, this is a 2, and this is a 2-3 pair looking at the 8 gauge, which now can't be anything at all. And why do I care about this? Well, I care about this because getting rid of 2 here means I've got a 3-4 pair here. Now this can't be 3-5 at all, and it is 2-6. And that is going to give me things. That's now a 5. So that's a 6 because it's the opposite. This is now not 5, 7 in any iteration. So we can take 5 and 7 out of both squares. So now I've got a 3-4 pair in this row. This might do other things. 6 is now in one of those squares, not that one. I don't know. If that's 2, that's the lower. So that can't be 2. So I am happy. That's okay. If this was 2, it's definitely the lower of these 2. And because this is now 2-6, I can't put the 2, which must be doubled in this box, there anymore because of this. So that is no longer 2. This is a 3-4 pair now. So 3 is the lowest digit, and 3 must be the double digit in one of those squares. I mean, this is nonsense, isn't it? It's absolute nonsense. I don't know which of these the 3 is, but I know that there's a 3 in one of those, and it's doubled and has the value of 6. Okay. Is that fine? Probably is. I'm not sure. But okay, but in this, oh, I see. In this column now, 1, 2, and 6 have to live in these squares. And that's not 6. So can I somehow do something with that? This being 6, this being 5. I think it's probably to do with the 12 gauge, but I'm not sure how to do that. Oh, 7 in this row is in one of those squares, so that digit is not 7. Yeah, we know these two digits are the same. So there's a floating 8-9 pair there. So that digit is the same as that digit. I'm going to give that a little bit of a moniker just to try and ensure that I keep track of it. And that digit is the same as that digit, so that's that digit. We don't know what that is. And therefore, I don't know what we do with this. Doubled 3 is in one of those squares. And it would be... Is there a way? So if doubled 3's here, it's worth 6. So these digits would be from 7, 8, 9. And that's impossible, isn't it? Is that reasonable? That might be reasonable. So I'm saying if that's 3, I know it's doubled because it's the lower of these. Its value is 6. These are natural digits now from 7, 8, and 9. And they can't be, because that would put 4 of such digits in this column. So that's wrong. So this is 3. It's doubled. This is not doubled. This is not 3. Ah, not 3. These two now are not doubled. I've almost got all the doublers placed, which is quite frankly remarkable. Therefore, this has a value of 6, so this is a 7, 8, or a 9 by Sudoku. So the other digits in this column are 1s, 4s, and 5s, and we can't put 1 in that. This can't be 1. So there's a 1 up there, which we already knew if I'd actually focused on it. This is 4 or 5. So there's an... so we can use the thermo. Yeah, because what's happening... Oh, this isn't 7, actually. Oh, that's big. This is a 7, I think. Right, let's just work out. We've got the other of 4 and 5 to place in this box, and that is the next low digit, because we've got 1, 2, and 3. So that digit must be there by sort of Sudoku combined with thermo logic. I need to put 7, which is the next digit in the box, because 4, 5 have gone, 6 has gone. So it must be the next digit along the thermo, and then the top digit is an 8 or a 9 and is the partner of this. Now let's go back to my A's. Can I disambiguate these? No. No, I can't. Okay, that didn't work. These are all natural. These are... What are they? Well, they're 1, 2, 4, and 5 is what they are. But I question... Well, you can't... Yes, you can't put 1 or 2 as natural digits in the third position along thermometers. So this digit is a 1 or 2. I've got a 1, 2 pair here. These digits are 4 or 5. This thermo, this digit's got to be quite little. Because it's got to, well, this is a natural thermo. So this 5, 3, 5, 4, 3 is the best we're going to do there. So let's have a think about this. So we've got this digit here is either... well, that can't be 2 actually. If that's 2, that's 1, and it will be the... Oh, hang on, I've got to be really careful here. Because remember, these bulbs, the lowest digit we can put in a bulb, and this digit... this is huge. Yeah, the lowest digit we can put into these bulbs is 2 now because we found where the 1 is. So this is at least 2. So 2 or 3, 3 or 4. And then the same is true here, but this is at least 3. So this is bigger than this. This one is definitely bigger than this one. Oh, this is so close to being figured out, isn't it? I mean, we've had the doubled 3, haven't we? Here. So if this was 3, this would be higher, because it can't be 1 or 2. So this should be the doubler, and it couldn't be. So this is 2. This is 1. This is 2. This 2 is the lowest of these 2 digits. So, oh, I've broken it, have I? No, could that be the double 2 then? Because now I have to put double 2 in this box. It can't go there because its value would be 4, and this would be the thermo would have gone wrong. We'd go 2, 3, 5, 4, and that doesn't work. But could it be here? And that, oh yeah, and that it doesn't have to be 1. That could be. That's it. That's how it must work. Because this is now a doubler. We know that because this is the lower digit. This is now a doubler, which is an 8 or a 9, isn't it? Let's not lose track of that. So let's tidy everything up. But this has a value of 4, so that must be a higher value than 4. And look, this is such a beautiful square, because it can't be 1 or 2 by Sudoku. It must be lower than a value of 4. It's natural, so it is 3. That's 4. That's 8. That is 8. Which is our A digit. Oh, I thought I had more A. Oh, no, I have up there. So that's 9. This is not 8 anymore. 8 I can get in the 24. That's 8. 7 and 9 here. This is not 8. This is not 7. This is a 4 by Sudoku, so that's a 3. All these thermos work the way, not the way I thought. So that's 5. That's 4. Yeah, we're definitely coming back over here. Do not worry. I'm definitely coming back over there to try and figure out what is going on. 2. 2 goes in the corner. Oh. No 3's in the corner. There's no 3's in the corner. Sorry about that. That's 5 now. So these are 6 and 7. So what's that digit? It's higher than 5. It's 8 or 9, I think. So I've got an 8-9 pair here. This is a 3. And well, that 3 has to go on the other thermo, and it has to be there, because 2 is not available as an intervening digit. This is a 6, because of the 7, 8, 9 triple here, so that should be a 4. These digits are now known. They are 7, 9, and, oh, only 2, okay. 2, 7, 9, I think. These squares are 5 and 6, possibly, and they're on a thermo, so we know the order. That's no longer 6. We're still chocolate teapotted in the middle by the looks of things. But I'm getting reasonably excited about this because, well, I tell you the other exciting thing. I've now got a doubled 2, a doubled 1, and a doubled 3. So what's the doubler in this box? Yes, it's 4. So that's not 4. One of those is a 4. And I know which one by the power of our fair-weathered friend Sudoku. So that's 4. That's the lower. So that's got to be higher than 4. Well, it can't. That's a value of 8, so it can't be It can't be very high. It's got to be 5, doesn't it? And now, okay, so now these are 1, 2, and 3. Because we can't put digits as low as 1, 2, or 3 as natural digits on thermos that start with 4 or 5. So this is 1, 2, 3. This digit is 6. Maybe this is an odd. Oh, yeah, that's a 3, 7. It can't have a 1 in it, and it's not got an even digit in it, so it must be 3, 7 adding up to 10. And these squares have got to be 1, 9, and 5. So this is a naked single. That's a 9. This is a 1, 5 pair. That digit's a something, maybe a 7 by the looks of things. These digits are 6. Oh, 8 must go there in this box. So that's 9. That's 8. That's 9. That's 6. This is 3. This is 7. There's a 1, 5 pair in this row. This digit is higher than 5 and lower than 8, so it is 6. It can't be 7. And this digit is higher. It's natural. It's higher than 8. Sorry, that's been available for ages. That's 9. That's 6. What a puzzle this is, isn't it? I mean, I'm going to be absolutely intrigued to learn whether others have found this relatively challenging. I certainly think it is quite challenging. This is a 2. 5 here means this is 1, this is 5, this is 1, this is 4. This is 9, this is 9 at the start of a thermo. But that's fine, because this is 12 and this is 14, so the world makes sense in Knickolas's strange puzzle. This is 6, this is 1. This is a 2, 5. Oh, bother. 2, 5, but not resolved. 1, 3, 4. The 4 is resolved. The 3 and the 1 are resolved, actually. So hopefully that will do some thingies. 2, 3, 1. Yeah, this is still going. 2, 5. We're all good. I really hope that this doesn't now result in some sort of horrible, deadly pattern that I can't find a way out of. I think it's working. 5, 8, 7, 8, 9. There we go. That is quite brilliant. What a construction that is. And my thermos, okay, it looks wrong here, doesn't it? It goes 3, 2, but that 2, of course, has a value of 4. Yeah, might be correct. Yes. Wow. Oh, more solves than I'd seen on Logic Masters. Logic Masters had a very handful of solves. But that's a sensationally good puzzle. It's taken me up nearly 90 minutes, a slightly movie-length edition, a Marvel-length edition of Cracking the Cryptic this evening for a marvellous puzzle by Knickolas again. That was fascinating. What's clever about it as well is you can sort of, well, no, that's not fair what I was about to say. I was about to say you can sort of see where to start. I'm not sure. I could see that the rugby balls were interesting, but what took me many moments at least was to realise that you had to view them as a unit. And then I promptly forgot that at various points during the solve. But you had to view these as a unit. Otherwise you couldn't get to grips with how they work together and the fact they forced a doubler into those particular boxes. But then it was so clever. Because once you'd worked out you couldn't have doubled 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s in any other boxes, you could sort of start to work away. So we got... Well, actually it was complicated, wasn't it? Because we got that as our first doubler because we worked out this couldn't be 2, 5. Because you always needed a 2 in these sort of sequences, but that was complicated. It's really clever. That has been put together with some care and attention, let me tell you. It's brilliant. It is a brilliant puzzle. Thank you very much for watching, if you still are. If you are and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you enjoyed it, you never know. But anyway, let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.